Pierce County Board of Commissioners, December 20th, 2011 work session at 6:04 p.m. Would you stand for the invocation and that leads to the flag, and Edward, we do the honor.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this great and awesome day that you've given us. Lord, we just ask you to be with our nation, be with its military, dear Father, as they protect our land. Lord, we ask you to continue to be with our leadership, not only locally, in the state, but also federal. Lord, tonight as we do your business, Father, I ask that we do it decently and we do it in order. And Lord, we're just so thankful for just the resources that you've given us in Pierce County. Lord, the people, the community, and the pride, but Lord, also the unity that we have. Father, we just ask, dear God, that you continue to bless us, Lord, as we bless others. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 1, the discussion on bids for the Pierce County Public Works Workshop. We received 6 bids. Number 1 was Douglas A. Neal. His bid was $28,500. What's that name? Garshagen was $50,229. Ellis Frickett was $29,810. EMC Engineering Services was $57,100. Palmer was $37,000, and Ursary Rule was $49,800. You see, Douglas A. Neal was the lowest bid at $28,500.
What's the dimensions on that, Mr. Chairman?
Do what?
What's the dimensions
On the building? Dimensions on the building are, it's 60 by 80, I believe is what it is. It's, it's 4,800 square feet with a 20-foot extension on one end, 25-foot extension on the other end.
Metal.
It's metal, with an option for a stucco. We're going to give y'all an option to put a stucco front on it. That will be extra in the bid when they bid it out. They'll do a metal building, red iron, with the option for a stucco front. And y'all can vote on whether you want to do that or whether you want to just go with a straight metal.
So this right here is just the bid on
This is the architectural and engineering service.
Right, okay.
Where are they out of?
Doug Neal's out of Glenn County. It'll take him about 2 weeks to produce the plans on this. Then they'll put it out. He'll handle this thing. It's a turnkey operation, and he'll handle all the bidding and all that stuff on it. And he'll even manage the product for us. It'll take 120 days after the contract is let, and that project will be finished.
Any more discussion? If not, I entertain a motion.
Make the motion that we accept Douglas A. Neal Architect.
Have a second?
I second it.
All in favor by signifying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, item number 2 is discussion on bids for design of erosion and settlement control plan for Guest Road and Clifford Loop. 3 bids were received. Thomas and Hutton Engineering Company, 16.5. EMC Engineering Services Incorporated is 17,000. Martin Surveying and Mapping is 12.5. Any discussions on these bids?
Where is Martin located?
Allen, Georgia. And he is DOT approved. Any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Chair, I'll make a motion to award the low bid to Martin Survey.
Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor by signifying aye. The ayes have it. Item number 3 is Thomas Sauls, Clerk of Court, report on court activity for 2011.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I have asked certain members of the staff to give reports after 6 months since we put this team together, and Thomas has so graciously accepted the invitation to give a report on their results in the courts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, County Administrator, and also our Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight and tell you a little bit what's going on in the clerk's office. This is the first time I've been invited to come to tell you what we're doing, and the first time in 11 years. Normally we come here begging and pleading. So I'll just tell you a little bit what we've been doing. In the clerk's office, of course, we're responsible for filing for the juvenile court, state court, and the traffic misdemeanors, and superior court civils, and criminals, and things of that nature. Our juvenile court deals greatly with our youth who are the age of under 17 years of age. Our juvenile court judge is John Adams out of Charlton County. I think he does a great job in supervising and placing our young boys and girls in the right places. And DFACS does a great job too. We do work closely with them. In our state court, we have Judge Rozier. He does a great job with our traffic court and our misdemeanor courts, and also our state civil. In our superior court, we've had superior court civil and criminal. We have 3 superior court judges. Our chief superior court judge, Dwayne Gillis, who is out of Coffee County. Serves 6 counties here as well in our circuit. We have Judge Mike Boggs and also Mike Devane. Just tell you a little bit of things that's going on. We do have jury trials from time to time. We have just recently revised our jury box this past year. And just give you an overview of how much we spent thus far on jury trials and also grand juries, $24,770. It's important for us to have a jury trial from time to time to settle matters. And I think our court system does a really good job at that. Tell you how many court dates we've had thus far this year. We've had 64 days of superior court. That includes our superior court civil and criminal. 18 days of state court, which includes our traffic, misdemeanor, and civil. 18 days of juvenile court. 12 days of grand jury appointments and meetings. Gives 112 days of court dates we've had thus far this year. Also in the clerk's office, we file for our real estate. Some of you may have bought some land or so forth of that nature. So we have our deeds and our plats and our liens and UCCs that's filed in there. We've completed 3,137 instruments this year, which is a good bit of land, trading, and so forth. And some of that has to do with liens and things of that nature too. Our juvenile court so far this year, we filed 97 cases. Of those 97 cases, we have 40 cases that has been disposed of, with 57 cases still outstanding. Our Pierce County State Court traffic, we have filed 557 cases. 498 of those cases have been closed, leaving 59 pending. In our state court misdemeanor court, we have filed 246 cases. 147 cases have been closed, leaving 99 active cases. Our superior court, our state court civil, we had 142 cases that were filed, 53 cases closed, leaving 89 active. In our superior court, we have had 438 cases filed, with 254 cases closed, with 184 cases still active. In our Superior Court criminal, we have filed 150 cases, 90 cases closed, with 60 still active. And our adoptions, which I feel like is a very important thing we do, it tickles my heart to see people come forward and adopt children. We've had 13 cases this year, and 12 of those have been closed out. Money, that's what we always like to hear. So I'm going to give you some ideas of what we have done so far. Child support, we collect child support in the clerk's office. We've collected $114,254.54, and we dispersed that money out to the custodian parents. Also, in our Pierce County Registry account, which is our garnishment accounts, we've collected $45,826. That money's been dispersed out too. In our Pierce County Juvenile account, we have collected $1,635.95. We were able to obtain $203.93 to the county, and $1,432.02 was paid out to outside entities. Our Superior Court Criminal Fines account, we've collected $32,882.85. $24,582.19 of that stayed with the county. $8,300.66 was paid out to entities outside of the county. Our State Court Civil, we've collected $30,315. The county was able to obtain $18,855 of that, and $11,460 was paid to entities outside of the county. Our State Court Criminal Fines, which is pretty good. These are our traffic cases, which we're fortunate on these. This is money pretty much that's pretty well given to us, and not given to us. People who make mistakes in life, speeding and DUIs and things of that nature. We're able to collect $171,963.58. Yes, sir.
How much is that collected by our local sheriff's departments?
Small portion. I really wouldn't be able to tell you the percentage, but it'd be a small amount. Our Georgia State Patrol probably does. If you want to give you a guess, I would think the Georgia State Patrol does 80% or more of them. Because we also collect money from like the city of Patterson too, on certain charges like DUIs and possession of marijuana, things of that nature. Of that money, that $171,000, we were able to collect $127,459.91. We had to pay out of the county entities $44,503.67. Our next one is our general account, which does a lot with our civil filings, divorces and things of that nature, landline disputes, contracts, complaints, notes, and also our real estate filings. In entity one, we were able to collect $277,444.26. We were able to keep $143,309.71 in the county. We paid out $134,134.55 to entities outside of the county. So our total collection this year, as of November, this is as of November 30th, we have collected, excluding child support and garnishments, we have collected $514,241.64. Of that money, we're able to keep $314,410.74 in the county. And we had to pay out to other entities outside the county $199,830.90. Some of that money for the real estate fund, which I find to be kind of interesting to look at these reports from time to time. We do collect taxes, and in the clerk's office, believe it or not, we do collect transfer tax and intangible tax. We're able to provide the Pierce County Board of Education this year $51,113.16. And out of the transfer tax and the intangible tax, we're able to collect for the county $52,602.39. So it's been a pretty good productive year. I encourage people, if they want to speed, do it in Pierce County. If they want to buy land, buy it in Pierce County. That's the only way I can be supportive for our county, I suppose. Some of the other things which is going on in my office this past year, the governor passed that the Board of Equalization board members there will be under the clerk's And so this is our first year doing that. We were able to file 36 appeals in August, and all those cases were closed out except for 2 cases. And I'd like to say thank you to Bill Rozier and Tommy and them for helping us out with that, because they had supervised that for years. And like many counties, the clerks just got that without any support. So I will say that these guys were really helpful, and I appreciate them for that. Other things available in the clerk's office, you can get your notaries there. You can apply for your notary online. You can also get your passport application filled out there. You can also view your real estate through the clerk's authority. And also we provide petitions for protection, temporary protective orders. If you and your wife can't see eye to eye, come and see me. Cutting expenses, some of the things we tried to do this past year. We no longer use our docket books and our minute books. That's about an average of 5 a year, and those things run about $200, $300 a piece. So we've done away with those. We duplex as much as we possibly can. We limit our electricity use as much as possible. And I'd like to say thank you to Edward Cady this year. He's come on board and helped us out a lot with the air conditioning. A lot of times with the air conditioning we run 24/7. So now I'm able to communicate with Edward by texting and say, we're not having court this week. And so he would monitor the air conditioning unit better. And I'm sure that's saving us a great deal of money. And I sure appreciate that. We email documents to people so we don't have to actually do a lot of postage and things of that nature. Cell phones, we don't have county cell phones, but we do have our personal cell phones. The ladies do use their own personal cell phones to be able to, if we have court at the annex, we need something from the big courthouse. Instead of getting that and make a phone call, they can sit there and tell me to bring the file number so-and-so. We accept any free pamphlets, pens, paper clips, or anything. Anything people are willing to give away, we're willing to take. We charge at least 50 cents per copies. And we do all we can to cut corners, but we also print our own envelopes that save postage. Anything we possibly can, we're going to do our part to help save the county money. We'd like to see the money in the black, not in the red. That's pretty much an overview of that. If you'd like to learn any more, just let me know. We'll send you a subpoena or a jury summons, and you can come and sit in the court with us. Any questions or any concerns or?
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
Wasn't sure what to say. I mean, it's the first time in 11 years I got to come to preach this way.
I like your time. Did a lot
Well,
of
thank you,
that.
sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Thomas, we
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4 is Jordan Sasser, Pierce County Parks and Recreation Director, updating on Pierce County Parks and Recreation activities.
Thank y'all for having me. In your packet, I gave you just a brief rundown of the previous year. I broke down the programs that we offer and the amount of participants we had, just to give you an idea of where your money's going. We added some new programs this year. Blast ball was one. I saw a need for 3- and 4-year-olds during the baseball season, so we brought in blast ball. Also, we did a first annual fun run around March last year. We did first annual fun run around March last year, and we were able to raise over $8,000 and had over 225 participants. I met with the committee, my little group, last Friday. We're going to do it again this year. Hope to be an annual thing, get people from various local communities, just get Pierce County's name out there, and also provide another service to the people of Pierce County. Also, for the future, we're looking forward to getting the NFC building and also the multi-purpose facility, because we're looking to expand and offer more programs for the people of Pierce County, things other than sports. Recreation and leisure doesn't always have to be sport-based. It can be other things such as computer classes or guitar lessons. We want to expand that view of recreation to run the whole gamut, to offer everywhere, everything from the youngest of constituents, 3 years old, all the way up to our senior citizens. Also, give you background, 11-12 girls softball. They were district champs and state runner-ups, so we're very proud of them. Also, this year, which y'all probably heard, our 7 and 8 football team and our 9 and 10 football team, they did something that was never accomplished here in Pierce County, which was they went to state, and both teams were state runner-up. Our 9 and 10s were district champions, and our 7 and 8s were district runner-up. We're extremely proud of them. to give you. What it is, I brought the boys here. They got dressed up for y'all. I want y'all to see where your money's going. Y'all can put a face to where the money's going in recreation. This first team that coming in, this is the 9 and 10s. This is going to be Coach Mike Williams, Michael Carter, Chuck Gillis, Jacob Heron, Buddy Knowlton, Brandon Jernigan, Kent Tyre. Kids are going to be Dalton Bennett, Austin Jernigan, Gunnar Knowlton, Ryan Heron, Lamorris Buffet, Johnny Waters, Luke Williams, Hunter Waters, Jorge Perez, Peyton Strickland, Trayvon Taylor, Alan Gillis, Jake Tyre, Ethan Heron, Avery Jernigan, Hayden Smith, Todd Carter, Jackson Clough, Mason Bennett, Caden Todd, Brad Hurst, Bryson Gilliard, Gavin Moody, Christian Edwards, and Braxton Harris. They put on ties for y'all. We got assigned football for the chairman. Do that. I'm going to show y'all the trophy. We're going to keep that ready. I want y'all to get a picture with the boys. And they got to see when they came home 2 Sundays ago. The community came out to the courthouse. The police escorted them in. And a lot of people gathered at the courthouse about 8 o'clock at night just to show them how truly proud they were. And I told these boys what they did was great, especially at 19 years old. And I wanted them to, just to come in and meet y'all and get guys.
Come around behind that thing here, get a picture of y'all while we all out there. So you know how to go there?
We backed up. Okay.
Y'all big time now, guys.
Y'all get in as close as you can. One more time. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Come on, kid. Y'all come up here.
All right, our next group is our 7 and 8s. That's going to be coaches Stacy Woodcock, Warren Shandell, Jermaine Bruton, Pat Bennett, John Green, Michael Cairn. Just line up right here, guys. The guys are going to be Tristan Turner, Spencer Woodcock, Lewis Newton Jr., Travis Shandell, Colin Jarrell, Dayton Baker, Jermaine Bruton, Xavier Plummer, Dawson Coke, Patch Bennett, Tommy Yeoman, Davis Green, Pierce Cairn, Asher Harris, Ty Little, Gavin Moore, Jeffrey Gray, Dawson Yarborough, and Victor Sierra. They got a ball, chairman as well. Let y'all see the trophy as well.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. No, same.
7 and 8. 7 8's the furthest any 7 8 team has ever gone was district. They were district runner-up. They went to state. Both teams played teams from Class B and Class C. We're Class C, which is a small department. They played larger departments, which are Class B. The guys made it to the state championship. They got state runner-up. Extremely proud of them. Did a great job. Scrappy individual. Good job, guys.
We didn't beat Baldwin County, but we got the best looking boys.
Can y'all get the trophy up here somewhere we can see it? All right, let me count to 3. 1, 2, 3, big smiles. One more time. Okay. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Yeah, yes.
so you can get some more quick.
Fellas, I appreciate everything y'all done, but I know this guy right here, something we don't need to let go. His heart's in the right way. I wish we would work to getting Blackshear and Patterson together and it be a true Pierce County. We could have used a couple of those kids this year. You were the guys that could maybe help us make that happen, but he's been real, he's real to these kids, and they think a lot of it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bring it back in. Okay. Can we get all the kids back in one more time?
That's all they can do. Some of them went back notice.
Mr. Chairman, you gonna buy McDonald's tonight?
No, I mean, you do what you
Stand in front of the chairman, guys.
Just stand right in front of him, just a minute. Line across that. Just cross that.
Hey, guys, face the chairman. Good cop. Face the chairman.
Hello, you ugly. How about?
Turn around, face him. Here you go.
Okay. I want to say thank you. There's always a first time, and y'all done it. You've done it first in this county. You're looking at the Board of Commissioners. One day, when y'all grow up, you may be sitting behind here, and you get to do the same thing. And I appreciate these 2 footballs. You don't know how much I appreciate it. I will put them in my office, and everybody comes in, we'll look at them. I'm going to tell them what a good bunch of boys y'all are. And thank you from the commissioners. Everyone's thanking. We're proud of you. We're proud of you. And I'm thankful for your leaders. Jordan, for getting your escort into town the other night. Did y'all like that? Okay. Now next year, we'll do it twice as big if you go back and do the same thing again.
There you go.
On winning. Okay, that's the spirit. Y'all gonna win it. And Mom and Daddies, I thank y'all for coming too. We're proud of them.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Thank y'all.
Yes,
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on, guys.
You're a cutie.
See you, buddy.
Hey, let's do it. Hey, guys, one more thing.
Come here, one more thing.
Come on, hustle up.
Come on, hurry.
Hustle up right here. Everybody
Right
get
here,
up.
right here. This is one of our favorite things to do
Yeah.
right here.
Region champs in high school. These boys, state runner-up. Let's get a Bears on 3, guys. Everybody hustle.
Bears on 3. Just to wrap it up, guys, I want to tell y'all thank y'all. I know y'all give us a lot of money. I know I come to y'all asking for money, but that right there is where that money goes. And y'all are having an impact on the kids of this community. And those kids made memories. Like back when I played, I made memories that carried on with me. They made memories that are carried on with them. And just, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank y'all. Look forward to seeing y'all next year.
Okay, item number 5 on the agenda is Bill Rozier, Chief Appraiser, discussion on reappointing Mr. Elridge Thomas to the Pierce County Board of Assessors. Bill?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. The term of Elridge Thomas is going to expire at the end of this year. Mr. Thomas has expressed some interest in being reappointed. This term usually is a 6-year term, but if y'all remember back in on February the 8th, we had a resolution that would stagger the terms. So this next term will be for January 1st, 2012 and end December 31st of 2014. And after that, it will go back to a 6-year term. Y'all have any questions?
Any questions? If not, I entertain a motion to.
I got discussion, Mr. Chairman. I would like to see, after 23 years of serving, I know Colonel Elridge Thomas is a good man, but I would like to see, after 23 years of serving, some new blood on the board. Would be the ideal I'd like to entertain. It's up to the board. But I'd like to make a motion. I talked with Mr. Alvin Walker, and he's expressed interest, and he said he would take the position. It would be up to the board, but I'd like to make a motion to maybe appoint someone new on the board. If that would be all right with Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill would have to work with him, but Mr. Bill knows him. But I'd like to make a motion to accept Mr. Alvin Walker to the board instead of reappointing Thomas. Just a new name on the board.
You made that motion?
Yes, sir.
We have a second? I'll second. All in favor, by signifying aye. 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 The ayes have it. Okay. Discussion on introducing a local referendum to change the exemption level in Georgia's code section 48,552 from $10,000 to $40,000. I've asked Bill Rozier to discuss this with us.
Gentlemen, a few weeks ago I was asked by the chairman to address a group of citizens and explain the exemptions that people in Pierce County qualify, the homestead exemptions. During this meeting, it was discussed that they felt that there needed to be something done about the exemption for elderly people with the school taxes. Now, I guess as an alternative, I suggested that maybe they could raise or ask the General Assembly to have a local referendum to raise the exemption from $10,000 to $40,000. Now let me back up a minute and tell you what the state exemption does. The state exemption, first you have to qualify for homestead exemption. You have to be, you have to own the residence January 1st. It has to be your primary residence. You have to file before April 1st. The state school tax exemption has a household income level of $10,000. Now that does not count Social Security or retirement income up to $55,742. You have to be, I don't know if I mentioned this, you have to be 62 years of age. The state exemption adds an additional $8,000 to the already $2,000 that you get from homestead, so that's a total of $10,000 exemption. It saves the applicant about $140 in school taxes. As I said, here I have some handouts that I'll give y'all. This is a fact sheet on it. This is a copy of the law.
About how many people do we have that would be eligible for that bill?
Right now, in 2011, we had 887 that qualify for that. And I'm sure if you offer more exemption and there's some publicity, maybe more people will sign up. I don't know, and they may be eligible. Mr. Tommy Roberts, my assistant, got this information up. Like I said, you have 887 that qualified in 2011. The highest market value was $5,702. The lowest was $7,071. Now, this is on property that could be anywhere from a 300 acre farm down to a lot that may be a tenth an acre. Also, we have the average fair market value of this property is $66,915. Or excuse me, I told you wrong. That's the medium. The average is $83,127. Now, with the regular homestead exemption, the way it is, it exempts $25,000 off your appraised value, which that's where we get our $10,000. Right now, we have 81 people that signed up for that are totally exempt. Our highest possible tax bill is $3,865. Our lowest tax bill is 13 cents. Medium estimated school tax is $293. Our average is $410. Now, if this exemption was to be raised to the $40,000, which we discussed, we would have 647 that would be totally exempt from this 800. The highest possible school tax would be $3,340. The lowest, $1.13. The average would be somewhere around $119.
This is the present right now.
Yes, sir. What this $10,000 that was I read. Is the present. And to do this, the only thing you'd have to do is ask the General Assembly to introduce local legislation. People in the county would have the right to vote on it. The only thing you'd have to do is you could take the state exemption, which is 48,552, change the exemption level from the 10,000 to the 40,000 for Pierce County. That's pretty much all I have. Y'all have any questions?
Do we have a kind of a figure? I see all these numbers, but if you move the exemption from 10,000 to 40,000, what's that going to change, the total? Do you add these numbers together, or how do you compute that? How's it going to affect the digest? This is my question, I guess.
I do not have that.
I can, it will, to generate the same amount of money, if they had that, if it had been 40,000 instead of 10, the school millage rate would have had to been raised from 17.5 to 19.81.
Maybe 3 more weeks.
Does that answer your question? If it don't, I have to go get my laptop.
It's 2.5 meals. I mean, we're talking about $1 million going to take the digest. At a meal based on $400,000 or something. Would that be
reasonable
Close.
assumption. Mills about 400,000, just roughly, so.
It'll add an additional 40-something, about 45-something thousand, 45 million exemption on that.
So that's a big chunk right there.
School tax.
Sure is.
So my three questions was how much the total is, revenue's gonna be lost, and that's basically 2.5 mils is what we're saying.
You're gonna have to make it up somewhere.
And my second question is where we gonna make it up at? And my third, if we're not gonna make it up, where we gonna cut from? That's my three questions.
If they make it up, they'd have to make it up over non-homestead property. Or on all properties that do not have the extra school tax.
This will be on this is the Board of Education's village rate.
Right, but it's still gonna come back
Well, yeah.
on the,
I understand.
It'll be on the tax bill.
right.
And then the fourth question too would be, what happens when the board does get 20 mills, they can't go anymore? What happens then to the Board of
They can't go
Education?
anymore.
They can't go anymore, what happens then?
They just can't go anymore.
Can't go.
So you cut then, that's what you
Cut.
do.
They'll have to cut it.
Yeah.
You have to cut like the county.
But as opposed to the proposal that's being floated around, this is sort of like less penalty. The Wayne County proposal, which would exempt all persons over 65 paying school taxes, would be even more devastating. I mean, it would probably wreck the Board of Education budget.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. What I want to say is that I had several of our elderly people call that are living on very fixed incomes, somewhere around $700 to $800. And you think that maybe it's not a lot, the school taxes, it's become a very devastating thing to them. One of my neighbors has now exhausted her savings account. She doesn't have anywhere else to go now to pay the taxes on her house. It may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but it means a lot to our elderly. And Pierce County, right at this point, is one of the counties that's looking at this, but we're being surrounded by counties that are going to do this. Wayne County has already done it. Glenn County has already made a change. Brantley County is looking, and it's going to pass in Brantley County. And they're already looking at it in Appleton County, Bacon County, and Hazelhurst. And there's many counties throughout Georgia that senior citizens don't pay any school tax. We can't allow our senior citizens to be the ones that take the blunt of everything that's happening. Because other counties can get tax exempt. Cut back. That's what we're saying, just cut back. You know, let's look at this thing and do what's right for our people. And it's just time. Education, this basically started growing in 1980 under the Carter administration. That's when the Department of Education was formed, and when the money started exploding. They went from a budget of $225 million to now we're spending around $75 billion. We're not here to jump on the Board of Education. They're doing the best they can with what they've got. But at the same time, it's time for us to stop and take a look and try to help our senior citizens out. And the way he was explaining to you, this isn't going to help the rich people. It's not going to help me because my husband still works. It's going to help those people who are really on a fixed income that are really, really struggling. And we're not the only county doing this. And one of the things that I've been talking to some of our legislators that we're going to start working on, and that is the fact that Pierce County has such a small tax base. And a lot of the reason for that is because we spend our money in Ware County, in Glenn County, in Wayne County. That's not fair that we don't get a good return on that. And so what we're going to be looking at is, and they looked at it a few years ago, and none of us got on board with it because we weren't educated enough on it. We didn't really realize it. It wasn't important to us at the time, but we're going to do it this time. And that is to let our tax dollars follow us. When we go shopping in Ware County, they can take our zip code, they can ship our money back to us. That's the fair way to do this. So we're not just going to do something and leave it and not worry about the money for the county. We're actually going to start working on a new way to be able to bring money back into the county. And so far, we're having really good support from that. And we have got excellent support in the county for doing this. And so all we're asking is that it be put on the ballot and let the people decide. And that's the American way. There's nothing, if we can't present a strong enough case that this is good for our county, then it'll be voted down. And if we can, then it'll pass. And we're going to be looking at, like I said, other ways to bring, which will be far more money back into the county.
Any more questions?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add this on what Kay said. I called Florence Deves, the tax commissioner down in Glenn County, and because they had done this, and when I was down there, I knew they had taken the same steps that y'all are trying to take. The only thing that she cautioned us on was there is a way to make sure that, and I think it's the federal, there's something to do with federal instead of state, because they've got people on Sea Island that are not paying school taxes because they have lawyers that are able to defer their income, and there's some kind of technicalities to it, but they said, she said, whatever you do, just don't do it like they did it. She encouraged us to do it, but do it in a little bit different way, and I don't know what that way is.
Well, our way is the most conservative. If you look at what the other counties have done throughout Georgia, I mean, I really applaud him, because what he's come up with is the most conservative way out there to do it, and it's going to be the least effective as far as hurting us at all. It's a great plan, and it's way, we will lose way less money than like Jessup. And all we're saying is that the American way is just put it on the ballot. Let the people of Pierce County, this is their county, it's their school system, it's their taxes, it's, you know, it ought to be their vote on what they want to do. And then we, you know, like I said, we're going to be dealing with things on the state level to help us too.
Have we talked to the school board yet or anything? I mean, you know, where are we at there? Are they aware of that consideration? Or?
I think they're just in the talking stages, Mitch, aren't they? Just in the talking stage. They're not asking y'all to vote on this or anything. This is just, they're laying it on the table and they want y'all to talk about it and see if you can't work it out.
Miss Kate called me and we talked about it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I just think we need all the details, you know, how you're going to do it. You know, and like I said, the way to do that, people decide it gets to that point, yes ma'am.
Well, we have met with Representative Nimmer, and we're going to be meeting with Senator Goggins, and they will write the legislation up, and as soon as we get it written up, and we'll hopefully by your meeting, we'll be able to bring it to you. We want to be able to do it this year so that it can go on the ballot in November. And we chose November rather than July because most people come out to vote. It's a presidential election. We're trying to do everything right and do it the fair way. And you'll have the most representation of the people by allowing it to be voted on in November rather than July.
If you see all these people coming in here, the crutch, walking stick, they're gonna take that crutch and beat y'all behind if you don't look at this thing pretty good.
I don't have any problem letting the people decide. I just would like to see where we're going and what we're gonna be faced with. That's the only thing I'm asking. I'm all for letting people decide, but I would, if we're saying 2.5 meals and like Neil said, talk to the school board, but we know it's going to be made up. It's got to be made up.
It's got to be made up.
So I'm all for letting the people decide, but I'd like to see a little more about it.
It just affects the school side. Is that right, Ms. Kay? That's what I thought. Yeah, just the school side.
Mr. Bullen, my name's Ferris Thornton. I'm from Offerman, Georgia. I'm 77 years old. I've paid my share of school taxes in my lifetime. I made good money, I paid good taxes, and I didn't gripe one bit. But I'm over the hill. My wife's over the hill. We're on a fixed income tax. And it's hard to get up more school tax. Now, we hadn't had any children in school in 20 years or better. We paid that. We didn't mind paying our school tax. Matter of fact, we had enough of children at school. They came to me one time on a little issue about feeding my children at school. I said, you don't need to, I'll feed them. But I'm telling you people, one day, you're going to get in my shape, you're going to get behind the 8 ball, and you better, all I can tell you is, you better think about this thing good. I know it's got to be made up. I understand that. But we need to take it off of some of the senior citizens back. That's all I'm asking.
Now, we had representation from, we had the mayor of Offerman and Mr. Ferris. We had the mayor of Pierce County there and one of the city councilmen. I mean, we have really tried to reach out to everybody. We had the county commission chairman there. We had Mr. Rozier there. We've had everybody to try. Some of these counties didn't do it that way. They just pushed ahead and had their own way they wanted to do it and pushed it. But we did not do that way. We've had the leadership of this county come together with the tax assessor to put this plan together. So we've done the very best we know how with the very best bill that we've come out with.
We have done what we want everybody to join us.
And I can tell you, we have absolutely tremendous
That's what
support
we
in this
want to
county,
work with.
tremendous.
We want everybody to be on the same page.
We do, we do.
And that's not asking too much, I don't think. Anybody else got any questions?
Well, I'd like to make one comment though. You know, that he's talking about a code section that was passed by the General Assembly there. Actually, that was telling me that they themselves could amend that code section statewide if they wanted to, isn't that right, Bill? And it would not require any local bill. It's not what the General Assembly doing. I'm not a member of that body, so I don't.
I did talk to them about that, and they told me that as an option. But y'all, that's not the way we wanted to do it. We wanted the support of this whole community, because this is the right thing to do. But you can go through legislation and do it both.
Okay, well, that's.
Jesse's back in. Jesse, how many of them come in this week that wanted to pay their taxes?
They wanted to pay it. I probably wouldn't have to take off my shoes to count them.
Okay. All right. Well, we want you to think about it. And we will be discussing it with you again, but we need to know as quick as we can. So, because it takes a while to work in Atlanta to get this done. But we got two good people in Atlanta that's willing to help us. Okay, item number 7 is discussion on appointing a Pierce County Board of Commissioners member to the Seven River Resource Conservation and Development Council. It's got to be somebody off this board. I'm automatically on it, but I don't attend the meetings. Now, the board member needs to attend the meetings. What does it entail? Eat never twice a year.
Bill would be a very good person.
What do you think, Neil?
Bill or Neil.
Bill likes to eat, but you have to carry a gift sometimes. But no, we really need somebody off this board on it because we've had Aldine on it for probably 3-4 years now, or no, a year now, and he's not even supposed to be on it, but I left him on it.
Make a motion that Mr. Bill.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor by signifying aye. Did I hear the train come through?
I'll move on number 8.
I didn't vote. Okay.
Come on forward, Dale. Give Doug a wiggle out.
Okay, Dale.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I come before you tonight with a proposal of raising of just a few of our building permit fees and some of our valuations. I carried this before the Planning Commission on December the 12th, which was last Monday night, and to discuss the possibility of raising some of our fees. I also put together, I believe the commission has what the current fees are right now and what the few proposed fees we had. The proposal was on our $1,000 or less, that building permit being $15, and basically our development code says if anything, as far as the project goes, it's over $300, we have to permit it out. So the $1,000 or less would be $15 on the permit fee. And of course the $1,000 up to $50,000, that was $15 for the first $1,000 and $5 for each additional $1,000. We come before you with a proposal to decrease the $1,000 less and the $1,001 up to $50,000 up to $30, a minimum of $30. And the reason being is just trying to cover the cost of the inspection of going out, and this can run into multiple trips. So I feel like the $30, and I've done some cost evaluation today, and I've got some estimates. I told the Planning Commission last Monday night that I thought it was between 32 to 35 what our cost estimates are per inspection. That's figuring our salaries and all the benefit package, along with depending on how far you have to drive into county. And I figured on a 20-mile radius, and looking at my salary, and it was around $37. So I'm just trying to cover the cost of the inspection. And one thing, it's a desire of mine to try to close the gap between our revenues and our expenditures, between our budgets. In a perfect world, in a perfect economy, I would like to say we could match it dollar for dollar, but that's practically impossible. Right now, as of Friday's figures, and compared to the proposed budget for fiscal year 2012, we're looking at about 80% that the Community Development Department funds this budget. I would like to say that I would like to narrow that in between 85 to 90%. I know that's a little far-fetched, but you've got to have a good strategic goal and try to work to something. If we could narrow it to 84 to 85%, I would be better, because the more money that the fees that we incorporate, the less that we have to have tax digest dollars to fund community development's budget. Also, under our standards and valuation of building cost, the county and technically, and I've looked, and I've got some other figures from some other counties that I put together, and I'll be glad to share those numbers with you. The county we've been at a standard valuation on figuring a building in a residence at $48, and actually that was also our commercial rate. And the proposal is to move that on the residential side from 48 to 55. And what that will do on a 2,000 square foot heated home, right now at 48, the permit will be $414. If we move it to 55, that will increase that up to $490, which is $76. We also asked for our general repairs. They were at $20 per heated square foot to go to 25. Garages, carports, storage buildings, unfinished spaces, we've asked to go from $8 per square foot to $12 per square foot. We didn't have anything established in commercial. Now I did put in your information a cost analysis from the International Code Council. They do a cost analysis nationwide twice a year to see exactly what construction cost for, you know, for building permits and one thing have you. I highlighted some of the areas that I felt like that was addressed to Pierce County. That was under our A2, which is assemblies, restaurants, bars or banquet halls. A3, of course, being assemblies and churches. B for business, E for educational, M for mercantile. R3, residential 1 and 2 family dwellings, and of course utility under miscellaneous. If you've had a chance to review, I'm sure you probably want to know what the 1A to 1B to 2A to 2B and so forth. The 1A and the 2A, or the 1 and 2, is steel construction. The A and the B is protected and unprotected. What that means is fire sprinkling, fire retarded lumber. So of course the A being protected, the B being unprotected. Under number 3, that is a combination of steel, wood, and masonry. Number 4 is wood, and number 5 is your heavy timber construction. But if you look under V5, which would be, or V, excuse me, V and the B side, a national average for residential is $102.91. And we're just asking to, and this is your standard evaluation cost, so we're just asking to go from 48 to 55. We're way below the national average. Matter of fact, on all these construction of our, you know, into the commercial side of it with assemblies and churches and business and educational and mercantile, we figured in a cost of $80 to figure in a commercial building, you know, is our standard. That's the proposed that we're looking at. And even with the mercantile being under heavy wood construction, which you very see that now in a mercantile building, most everything is steel and concrete, would be at our lowest end would be $81.13, right on up to $163. No, actually, church would be $197. So that averages anywhere from $81 up to $197. So I felt like that the 80 was a good ballpark figure. It's still way below the national average. We did ask for some increase in our electrical permitting. We did not in the plumbing. We felt that that was suffice at the time. Right now, the general new wire for a house and repair would be $10 plus $5 for each 1,000 square foot of building. Basically, if you build a 2,000 square foot home, electrical permit is only $20. There we go. If we go back, we don't cover the inspection. Moving right along, though, you do have the fees in front of you. Commercial, we've added, like I said, the commercial side of it under the wiring, $50 for a panel change or wiring the building on the commercial side. Manufactured housing. We also proposed, right now, the county's inspection, if you have a mobile home that's over 10 years of the current year, it's $100, plus a manufactured move-on permit, it's $150. Basically bringing that permit total to $250. So the proposal was to leave that as is and then move the new permit, say if it was a new mobile home, manufactured home, excuse me, down to that 10-year over $250, and that way we're equal on both sides. Just to give you some rundown real quick, and I'll rush through this, and so I'm sure the commissioners, y'all have some questions. Pierce County right now, of course we know the permit fee. Ware County, I done Ware County, City of Waycross, Brantley County, and Wayne County. Ware County, the basic permit is $140 on a manufactured home. Pre-inspection inside the county is $50. Out of jurisdiction is $50 an hour plus 36 cents a mile per road trip, or round trip, excuse me. City of Waycross is $100. They have a pre-inspection fee of $50 and mileage outside of the city limits. They did not say what the mileage was. Brantley County was $300, the minimum permit. Pre-inspection in the county $60. Out of jurisdiction $60 plus 49 cents a mile. Wayne County, depending on the size, make, and year model of a manufactured home, could range from $165 up to $495 for a permit. Site-built homes, these are based on 2,000 square feet, heated square feet that is. Pierce County, as our fee stands right now, is $414. Ware County is $490. City of Waycross, I was told that their permit fee is based on the job construction cost. So if a contractor comes in and says it's worth $180,000 for the home, that's what they base their fee off of. Brantley County building permit fee is $600. Wayne County building permit fee is $615. And these are for 2,000 square foot home. Minimum building permit fee for Pierce County, the minimum fee right now is $15, of course, for Pierce. Ware County is $30. City of Waycross is $30. Brantley County is $60. And Wayne County is $75. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. The Planning Commission took this under advisement. They did vote unanimously for recommending these increases, and that's bringing it before the board for your any questions you have, and we'd like to. I would like to say that I would like to see the board, go along with the increase. I know that during this time of the year, there's a lot of things that's happened. I know of throughout the county with the tax millage. Unfortunately, these fee increases do not affect tax millage. They only affect if you decide you want to build on your property or do any building or move a manufactured home or whatever the case may be. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll render the floor for any questions that you or the commissioners may have.
Do you have any questions? No, sir. I think what you need to do is get us a list by our next meeting and let us go through them and see what we want to change. Is that agreeable?
Yeah, this is quite a bit to digest, right?
Well, there's no doubt, Dale's correct. We way behind on other counties, no doubt about it. The only negative thing that I can see is, like Dale said, we've had a millage increase in the county and 2 mills from the school, and and now we're coming for another increase. It does affect a lot of people. I think y'all's income was $96,024 this year.
Well, when we factor in the business license, as of Friday, with our license and all of our permit fee, this is as of December 16th, was $119,660.24.
Y'all's expenditure was $113,005. Right. That's to the end of November. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that has a lot to do. We were, understaffed through most of the year, and then we were down to 2 employees instead of 3 that we've had in previous years that the department has. So that's the reason for that. Now, the increase.
You're certainly not in it to make money.
No, sir. You cannot. You can't make money. Department of Community Affairs. I've spoke with them as of last week, a gentleman in Atlanta, and a building department is not to make money. It's not a profitable department.
And right now, y'all in the black.
At this moment, we are. Providing what our fiscal year 2012 budget at the commission, and I ask for your blessings to approve that. We could fall short next year, and that's the only reason why. And the only reason why I'm bringing you a proposal right now is usually just because it's the end of the year and to start off in the new year. That's my reason behind it. But if there's anything that the commission would like for us to look at, if we need to scale back or you do not want to approve it, I understand. I wouldn't be doing my job as director if I don't bring something to the board to say, hey, this is what I feel we need to move forward. And I ask for your blessings, but then again, I understand too, you have your convictions. And I respect that.
We've certainly done a good job in that department. I can attest to that. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dale, if you'll just get the information they need and give it to them before the next Board of Commissioners meeting, then they can pull this item and continue to discuss it and
Yes,
make
sir.
a decision at that point.
So we'll do. I'll, and that's for the January meeting, Mr. Chris?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to say, before I go though, to wish every one of y'all a very Merry Christmas, you and your families, and a very prosperous New Year. And I think we all need to remember the true meaning of Christmas, and that's the birth and Savior of our Lord Jesus Christ. And we should put that first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let Him make our lead and guide and direct us and make our decision. And I not wish the Commissioner, but I wish the whole community of Blackshear and Offerman and Pierce County and the city of Blackshear and Patterson. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a suggestion. After Jesse gets through with his, we could take a short break. People have been sitting here a pretty good while. If they want to take a little break, and then we'll come back and finish up, if that's all right with you, Mr. Chairman.
Fine with me. But if you don't, come on back and we'll go. Come on, Jesse.
Commissioners and Chairman, I asked Jesse if he would come and give us a report. I remember when I first got here, there was a lot of uncertain information about what his department was doing, and so he has been a big help to me and our staff, and I just felt like this time I want to give Jesse an opportunity to come before the public via computer. Everybody can watch it live on their computer on YouTube, or in the newspapers, and everybody to be here so they could hear what Jesse's got to say. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, thank you, Mr. Christian. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to y'all a few minutes tonight. I don't believe I've ever been on TV before. Didn't have my makeup on, I guess, but everybody has got a set of figures tonight, sounds like, so I guess I'm coming with mine too. I'd like to talk a few minutes about percentages, and you know, our collection percentage right now, going back to 2000, 2008, our percentage collection is 99.3%. When you take those same years and add the cost and interest and penalties on top of what we've collected on them, that raises it up to 102.5%. So that more than the original figures. So 9 and 10 are not quite that good. That last 10% is always pretty hard to come by. Our 09 figure, we're at 96.6%. Our 2010 figure is 94%. So that to me is not a real bad percentage, I don't think. Of course, it's like any other job. I think we can always say we can do better, but I know that you're aware that back earlier in the year we started working on some of the delinquents, and we got GTS from Carrollton, company that has helped us in the past work on this, and pretty much worked all summer on it. We had a tax sale last month in November, and we wound up taking about 16 properties actually to sale, and only 10 of them sold. So, you know, usually if you get to a tax sale with a piece of property, it's going to sell, but I think it's just a sign of the times. I think our collections from May to around the end of October for the county's part, $750,000. So that was a pretty good little shot in the arm, I think, to y'all's bank account, and maybe it helped get things going a little better. And also, next year, 2012, we're planning on having another tax sale. We're gonna have to get started about February or March to be able to have one in May or June, and that's what our plans is now. I'd like to look at too at the levies that we've had over the last few years. Went back and looked at those a little bit, and the county levy for 2007 through 2010 was right at $12 million. Our collections through the middle of the summer last year, about $14.5 million. So we were a little bit ahead of you at that time. But the recent levy for 11, that added about $3.7 million back in on top of that. So figuring our collections, that put it the levy for 2007 to 11 at $15,720,000, and our collections through November the 30th, $15,786,000. So that took a lot of slack out of the rope when we put that new levy in place, but we're still $65,000 to the black. So we're, you know, counting all the collections, we've got your levy every year, plus we already got your 11 levy collected in your hands. So, we still got December collections to go. When we have a December deadline, historically our collections are good in December, and matter of fact, the last couple of days we've collected about 1.8 million. That's for everybody, not just the county. So I think things are coming along pretty good. You know, the taxes are just one side of the coin. You know, we in the tag business too. So annually we do about 22,500 tags. Do around 4,500 title applications, around 1,000 tag transfers. So that's 28 more thousand transactions that we do every year too. One of the things that the state has graciously done recently is put us in the sales tax business. So we're not a vendor, so that's a no cost to them. And funny thing about that, we even get to pay the postage every week to send them their money. So that's about $10 a week, and we wind up sending them anywhere from I'd say about $10,000 to $25,000 according to collections. I'd be glad to pay $10 to get somebody to send me $25,000. That's a pretty good deal on their part. You know, over the years things have changed a good bit, but they've, you know, yet they've remained the same. So, you know, when I came in office, our county population was a little less than 12,000 people, I think, and now I'd like to think we're probably 18,000, 19,000. I don't know, maybe more than that. When we started, I don't know that the county even owned a computer in 1988. Only one that I was had any contact with was Mr. Eddie Lee over in Ware County. Had a little business called Combined Data. And we take the digest over there, and they key punch it in one of those little big IBM machines about the size of a chest freezer, you know. And then once a month you'd carry your receipts over there, and he'd do your little cash book for you, and then you'd have to come back and sit down with your pencil and piece of paper and calculator and see what you owed everybody. And but now, you know, our tags are on a real-time system. You can get a title back in 5 to 7 days. Used to it was 6 to 8 weeks. So, back then, our county and school levy together was something like $2.5 to $3 million. This year, it was $10.6 million. So, things are really progressing here in Pierce County. One other point I'd like to make, when I came in office, we had 4 employees. We still got 4 employees. We're getting your levy collected every year. And I know from your finance department, the last 3 years, 7, 8, 9, and 10, we've come in under budget. So we're doing the job, and we're doing it within our budget. So that's about all I have, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Good report.
Thank you.
Your motion, we take a break 5 minutes. I'll make a motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor, by signify aye. Aye. Don't do that. I didn't put on the page today. Hear a motion, we come back into session.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. All in favor, by signifying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Okay, item number 10 is the 6-month report from staff concerning commissioners' projects that have been completed. Also, in this report, we'll have the projects planned for 2012.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This report is going to be, we'll move along as fast as we can. We still want to get the results of the last 6 months to you. The staff is here, and I've asked them to participate in this. What we're going to do is talk about the projects that have been completed. Okay, Edward, if you'll move that. The first item we have is our cellular phones, which Amy Hitt was in charge of that program. Amy, would you give us a description of and what you did with that program, please?
Once I came to the finance department, I realized that we were actually utilizing 3 different vendors for our cell service. And a couple of the vendors had some issues with service, providing service in necessary areas. So we looked at the 3 different companies and what they offered. Verizon Wireless had a better service area and could provide basically the same services we were already getting from other providers. So we combined all of our cell service to Verizon, with the exception of 3 phones with the AT&T. Those are our EMS phones that information has to be transmitted in a certain way to the hospital, and so we've left those alone. But the savings anticipated for next year is a little over $7,000 just in our cell service. So.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Amy. Next item on the agenda is our employee retirement. I think y'all are pretty well up to speed on that. We combined those services and put them with Edward Jones. That does not save us any money or cost us any money. That's basically designed and we focused on our employees, making sure that we maximize their contributions so that their retirement funds will, they can realize more at the end when they get ready to retire. Their return should be better because they were not being managed together. They were separated, and it was not a good situation. And we really appreciate, because we could not have done it without y'all's approval. And that's everything that you'll hear on this particular presentation. This is y'all's work. Y'all just voted on these items and allowed the staff to carry these out. So all these accomplishments and the way that the programs are working out and the money that's being saved, all of the credit goes back to you guys, because the staff could not have done any of this without y'all voting on it. The next item up is the EMS evaluation. That's been a lengthy process. We've, as y'all know, got Dave Wills and a group coming in in the new year that will come in and work with Ken and his group, and they will evaluate that operation as we go through each department. This one is the most complicated, and we needed outside help on that, and they've agreed to come in and help us. And I'm sure we're going to come out stronger on the other side of this evaluation, and we're looking forward to it. Next item is fuel, and Edward Cady is in charge of that. So Edward, would you come up and lead us through that?
Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, we have just today got the new fuel sensors installed at the Road Department and Sheriff's Department. That way we can electronically monitor the amount of fuel that we have in our tanks. We fully have got that system installed and running at 100% now. Working with the Finance Department, starting on January 1, we'll start with some raw data and actually start looking at some comparison of numbers that we can see what our fuel consumption is in the county. And potentially what we're looking at, just numbers I've crunched myself, we're kind of looking at, you're looking at a minimum $50,000 because we're going to be able to manage our fuel. We're going to be able to manage and see where it's going. Not only does it manage the fuel, but also efficiency of our equipment. If we got a car that's getting 5 miles to the gallon, then we got an issue with that piece of equipment. This way to give us the mechanism in place that we can monitor our fuel, not only from our side, but also from the user. Okay.
And our total cost on that was $480,000 this last year on fuel. So we'll be real curious to see how that program is progressing as we move along. The new system will give us about 20 different items that we can monitor each week as we follow our fuel system. The next item is the IDA program. When I got here, I wanted to make some changes with that, the way it was set up. With y'all's help, we were able to do that, and the IDA, I think, is happier with the new setup, and I know you guys are, and it cut our costs and increased our support to the IDA, but it cut our costs, and so we were able to save about $24,000 with that particular program. Next one is employee relations, and Edward, if you'll come back to the podium, you might as well stay close by and cover this one for us.
Employee relations, what we're working on now, we do have a personnel committee that was formed this past year, so we're actually looking at our personnel policy that we have in the county. We're getting a collaborative of different communities surrounding Pierce County. We're also looking with the Department of Community Affairs of kind of looking at a pay grade schedule for the county. We've not upgraded our pay grade in the county. It's been numerous years. And so Tina White's been contributing and working with me on that project and have done a very good job in gathering that information. Also, we're looking at our job descriptions. As time progresses, technology progresses, we have to revamp our job descriptions that we have in the county, also the pay adjustments. But one thing we also have, and we'll let Amy elaborate on that, is our employee fund that we have for our employees here in the county. The greatest asset and resource that we have in Pierce County government is its employees, is its people. And if you invest in your employees, they will invest in you. And so that's what we're looking at doing. We're wanting to invest in our people so they'll come and they'll work and they'll retire in Pierce County government. Amy, if you'd like to come in.
I do know that you've all heard us talking about the employee relief fund that we're trying to establish. We have formed a committee of county employees, not department heads. These are everyday employees that are on this committee that help make these decisions and of the committee and how the monies are going to be dispersed. We're in the process. We're working towards getting a governmental trust agreement so we can get our account opened up and get started hopefully the first of the year where the employees can start contributing to this fund and utilizing the monies.
Thank you, Amy. That was set up because the employees got having discussions about other employees having sometimes in the year different employees may need some assistance, and this is totally supported by the employees. It's not a Pierce County function. It's just employees. The next program we've got is the inmate medical program, and Lynn's going to give us a report on that.
Can I sit here?
Sure.
Okay. As you know, Sheriff Richard King contracted out with Southern Correctional Medical to do all of his inmate medical. They have an on-site nurse, they have a 24/7 call, they have all the medications there, they do all the exams there, they have dental coverage, psychiatric coverage, and I did some figures on it. From January to September, we paid out $155,211.12 on inmate medical costs. That includes all their hospital visits, all their medicine, dental, eye care, anything like that. From October to December, the bills that have come through for December, we have spent $21,713.06. We pay $8,500 a month to Southern Correctional for the inmate medical. They take care of all inmates' problems. That includes all the drugs they have to have. If they have anything that's urgent, of course, they will send them to the Satilla Regional Medical. But that is a substantial savings. In just a few months, we've had them on board.
Thank you, Lynn.
Sheriff Richard King is very, very, very happy with your service.
This has been a great program, and we really appreciate the sheriff working with us on that. He made some great decisions on that. Our next is the Blue Cross Blue Shield. We hired a outside consultant, Al Ertel, out of Kennesaw, Georgia, who assisted us with this program and also worked with the local broker. As y'all well know, that was very successful. Now, at this time, the Dana Bowen is, what's her last name?
Bowen.
Bowen, okay. I was thinking there's 3 names in there. Anyway, she is coming around to each employee, each department, and we'll be educating them on the new process. And it is an excellent program. It's a little confusing to start with, but she will be clearing those questions up and coming around and visiting with everybody. I think she's already covered the sheriff's department, I believe. But she will cover every department and answer any questions that might be coming up. But that was a huge savings on that program. The next one is the Public Works Workshop. As y'all are aware, you approved the A&E Service Architect. He'll be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and the staff will be meeting with Mr. Neal and making sure that we have everything in the design portion of this project. And then in 2 weeks, or three at max, he'll come back with the finished product, and then it'll go out to bid. We look for this construction to start early March and be completed after the construction date has been given of 120 days. We're really excited about that because I know all of you have seen what Public Works been working, the conditions they've been working in for the last few years, and this is going to be a great upgrade for them, and that's paid with SPLOST 8 money. It's important that everybody understands that. This is not general fund money. Everybody was saying, well, the county's broke. How can they build this shop? This is coming out of SPLOST money. And if I do say so myself, SPLOST is one of the greatest taxes. If you got to have one, that's the one you want, because visitors, tourists, and everybody pays that. It's not just on the backs of the local folks. The next slide is intergovernmental relations, and that's mainly the mayor and I having breakfast on Monday morning, and they've been very productive, and I really appreciate the mayor and everything that he's the reason these meetings got started, and he and I are really, I think, moving along at a good pace, and I think y'all are going to see some good things come out of these breakfast meetings. And so keep your eyes on that one. We'll be coming out with some announcements shortly on some programs that he and I are working on. Administrative staff reorganization, that's Amy. Amy's going to talk about that for just a second.
Just to let you all be aware, we have, are in the process of having our finance director, certified as a financial officer. She's been going to school since September, October. Anticipated to finish her CFO, I think is the end of May. Through her classes that she's already attended, we've come to realize that we need to do some reorganizing in our office and the way it operates. And we've already implemented some changes in that aspect as far as having a purchasing person in our office. One person handles all purchases from a paperclip to a motor grader. That way everything's going through one person and we're making sure that those items are budgeted, money's there, so on and so forth. I think those are the two biggest changes that we've made. We're just trying to make our office flow better and be more productive.
And they're doing that. It's a great transition. And the reason Crystal is not here with us tonight, she's attending a funeral. She had a family member pass away, so she is not here, but she will be presenting the budget in the January workshop. The SPLOST 13 meetings, they're going really well, thanks to the commission and all the elected officials in Patterson, Offerman, and the city of Blackshear and the commission. The last meeting was held at the City Hall, and there was a lot of progress made on that. They will be getting back together shortly at the next meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to finalize the SPLOST 13 agreements. The new website, we got 2 items left on this slide. The new website and live video streaming. Edward, if you'll talk about that.
Smile, you're on candid camera. We got a new website. It's kind of revamped a little bit to make it more user-friendly with people. We can, not only for Pierce County, we're trying to make it a one-stop shop for our community. We've integrated the school systems, businesses, organizations, nonprofits, so that when people come to the Pierce County website, they can hyperlink anywhere in the county they need to go. So it's been very successful, getting very high traffic on our website. So it tells me that people are utilizing that. Also, our live streaming video, all of our work sessions and county commission meetings are now videoed live, and they're going across the net, across the world. And also we do archive those, and we do place them on our YouTube channel that we have so that people can actually go back and review them at any time. And we're getting a lot of hits. It gives me the number of hits we have, so we have a lot of people in our community that are going back and looking at our government in action. We also have several tonight that are looking at it live across the internet. So it's a great resource, it's a great tool, it's something that we can bring to our community.
Thank you, Edward. You need to stay up here. The next slide is yours too. But I did want to add this. When I was in Glenn County, I asked if our IT department to do this live stream video thing so we could, the folks at home could watch it. And it was going to be, the price tag was just unbelievable. How much have we spent to do this, Edward? $300. So my hat's off to Edward, our one-man IT department. And he's done a great job. Well, 1.5. We got a part-time person now. But Edward is one that's making this work, and he's doing a marvelous job. Now, Edward, if you'll go into this next slide.
I want to say the staff, too, they've been very, especially finance, they're real good at helping with the money to fund it. Infrastructure improvements, we had a couple of units we had to replace. One at our Nickel Street, which is here for our courts. Also at Strickland Avenue, we had some heat strips we needed to put in that facility for the food pantry. And we had the ladies quilting club that was over there. They were kind of building them a campfire in the middle of the room where they could stay warm. So we got that also done for them. Also, one thing too, Mr. Paul, I hadn't shared with you yet, we're doing some revamping on our chiller system we got at the courthouse. Kind of give you an idea, when you turn the chiller on, it goes 100 mile an hour. And the point is, it never throttled down. It never shut down. We're now working on putting in place, when we meet set point in the county courthouse, that it's not going to run 100 mile an hour. It's going to back itself down, and it's going to feed those points in the courthouse that need air. There's no use to cool or heat the second floor when we don't have court. And Thomas Sauls and the judicial side of there has been very helpful in helping us curb money. Working on some plans in the county now for LED lighting. some grants that we're looking at some monies that we can actually get money back from Georgia Power by using LED or using more efficient lighting. I got a company that's working with me now. We're looking at that aspect, and also energy management. Courthouse parking lot lights. We went back and changed some of those. The bulbs had been out for a good many months, almost a year. And also there were a few lights in the parking lot out there that had never been actually wired. They were just hanging up there since the construction. And so we've got that changed out now that the icon in our community is lit up at night, and we can show that crown jewel off.
Thank you.
All right, the next slide is going to be the for operations. As y'all well know, we've got a new sidearm mower and steam jenny that has been ordered. The steam jenny's here. The sidearm mower has been ordered. Also, we have through SPLOST 8 been able to order, y'all approved, a new tractor and another batwing mower, so we'll have two for the county. You know, when you got 500 miles of dirt roads and a lot of mowing going on, one tractor just is not going to be sufficient. So you actually need a whole bunch of them, but at least we're going to have one on one side and one on the other now. The next couple of items will be policies. Edward, you're going to talk. Edward, let me tell you why Edward's jumping up and down so much. He's now assumed the HR as well as IT. So we're getting our money's worth out of Edward, so that's the reason why he's having to do double duty here.
I'm just going to clone myself next and see if we can do that. Which would be a good thing, Amy. Good thing. Remember that. We have our seatbelt policy. This is seatbelt policy we put back in place. I believe it was back in around May, somewhere in there, that you did to help protect the employees and operations. So anytime that we're in a county vehicle or a private vehicle doing county business, we have to wear a seatbelt. That applies to everybody in the county, even commissioners when you're doing county business. So you should be using your seatbelt policy. Also, our technology policy, we worked on it for about 2 years, and we got it going, and it's actually been working real well. It's been protecting the assets of our county and also protecting our employees. We appreciate y'all putting those two policies in place to protect us and to protect our assets. They have worked very well. And again, to say that the employees have been very, very good at following those policies, and we've not had any credible issues over the last year in our technology department. I want to say thank y'all for doing that.
All right, our next item will be Jane's going to come. James Stillman is coming up, and she's got several items that she's been working on, and I think y'all are going to find it incredibly interesting.
Well, I was going to talk a long time, but now I'm hungry, so I'm just going to cut it short. The first thing I want to talk about is that we had the Nichols Street Annex, this building, interior painted by prison labor. So we got that freshened up. That's been several months back. We ran ads in the local newspapers for artists to bring in local artwork to be displayed. We had several people bring in their artwork, and we have hung it on the walls. Thanksgiving dinners, this one is one of my favorite. We asked the employees, and this was the employees coming forth, to contribute to feed 11 families, and we were just one short. We did 10 families. And at a time when the economy's not so good, it was good to see that the employees dug deep down and made that happen. The Christmas project, Toys for Tots and Gifts for Teens, another project that the employees came forth, and we had 85 toys going to the Sycamore tree. So we know there are going to be some happy kids on Christmas morning. The Christmas dinner was attended by 130. I'd only had seating for 120 because I didn't know. And the commissioners, I appreciate y'all sitting in the courtroom. That was not the way it was supposed to be, but I appreciate you doing that. It was a great turnout, positive feedback from everyone. Also, the courthouse has been decorated. There's a wreath on every window. Road department, Mr. AJ, they need credit for that. They really did a great job in just a little amount of time, and I did get to go up in the lift just a little way. We also decorated this building. If you ride by here, we are prepared for Christmas. The last thing that I want to talk to you about really quick is the 4-day work week. Just want to introduce you to it, get you kind of used to. I've got some handouts. It's being done in a lot of places. It's the new and current way to save money. employee productivity. There's all kind of factors here to be considered. So I just want you to look at that material, you know, when you have an opportunity. That's it. Any questions? No questions for me?
Jane, hold on, Jane.
Where did the money for Christmas decorations come from?
Some account that,
He came.
Metal that's tucked to the county farm.
well, I wasn't prepared to answer that question.
Well, the money for the Christmas decorations came from the scrap metal from the county farm. So there was some questions about that, and
That's what I wanted you to say.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me.
We got criticized that we spent money on the employees
But
to make more money.
I understand.
That's where the money came from.
But I do have to say this, these wreaths, unless something happens, they're going to be here from year to year. They'll last a long time.
Right.
Another thing, on the 4-day work week, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, y'all please pay attention to that, because we're going to be talking about it all this next year. We're going to talk about it 2012 all year long. We're going to be working on it. We're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of this, because if every state in the United States went to a 4-day work week, we could cut our dependency down on foreign oil by 40%. And there's 3 states right now that are heavily involved in this, and it works. Our public works, or our county farm, what y'all call it county farm, I call it public works, they're on a 4-day work week already. So you will be hearing a whole lot more from Jane and other staff members concerning that. The next item is Pierce Transit. I think we've talked that to death. It has been contracted out to a third party. We've met with the folks from MIDS. They're out of Valdosta. It's a great company. They've got 18, now they've got 19 out of 19 counties. They do an excellent job. They come highly recommended, and they assured us that their people will not notice any change in the service. Hopefully it's going to be, there's room for improvement always in anything, and we hope that that's what happens. But that starts on January the 9th. Work in progress. This is our last section. Things that we're going to be working on for 2012. Edward's going to be talking about our power, our energy program. Edward, if you want me to cover that, I will.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
What we're doing, we're just going through a lot of different programs, controlling our cost on energy, on lighting, heating, and air. Edward's putting in some, thanks to you guys, we'll be putting in controls where he can control all of our energy, whether it's telephone or by computer, no matter where he is. He's actually taking some information that he's getting from these folks and knowing when to buy energy and when not to buy energy, when to cut our equipment on and off. It's a great program. It's going to work extremely well, and we're going to be experimenting and looking at alternative sources of energy. The projects, the budget, Amy, you have anything to add on
My
the budget?
understanding is it's anticipated that the budget will be presented to the commission at the January meeting. That's my understanding.
Okay.
Barring no
Crystal and Amy are working on the budget. They will have that thing ready to go to present to y'all in January. You know about the facilities work, the technology, the energy management. Here's one that you haven't heard much about, and it's fixed assets. We've never had a fixed asset program here in Pierce County. And Edward and his team are in the process of working on making sure that we tag every asset that the county has and has a list of it, because that works hand in hand with your finance department. They have to have that type of information. Insourcing, they're bringing in stuff that we've been outsourcing. Edward's got it calculated now that this next year we should save about $80,000. And that's after we've hired this half-time person or part-time person to come in and assist him on this program on bringing these outsourcing in-house. So that's we're really excited about that. The data center, which is the next thing, what Edward's going to do on this is just take all the hard drives and convert it into one location, one hard drive, instead of a hard drive in each location. That's going to save a lot of money on firewalls and all the upkeep for the security of all these systems. Right now, the next is that the what's the next slide on that, Evan?
Active projects.
Oh, mass office supplies. Amy is doing that. Amy and some of the others in the staff, we're going to be buying all of our office supplies at one time, which should save a ton of money. The biometric time clock, we're looking at that, and we will be presenting that to you at some point, where you check in, you clock in with a thumbprint instead of a time card. That way people can't clock in for somebody else and that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot of counties that go into it. It's a better system. And we're certifying all of our department heads one at a time. That's something we'll be doing all through 2012, making sure that they have the advantage of maximum training. And then the travel policy is something that the commission has asked that y'all work on, and we're going to work on with you. So hopefully we'll come out with a new travel policy sometime in 2012. All right, the next to the last thing is the revenue savings. The pie chart, I like pie charts because with one glance you can pretty well see what's going on. With all of the things that we put into place and put into motion, it should be somewhere in the $800,000 range that we've been able to curb our spending. We're excited about that because why? It's because we want to give our employees a raise, and anytime that we can save a dollar doing something, that puts us closer to giving our employees a raise, which they haven't had in about 3 or 4 years, and it's well overdue, and that's this is how we're going to be able to do that. A lot of counties have furloughed and laid off and done all kinds of things, and what we're trying to do is cut our costs with very obvious things that we think people should look at first, and that's their electricity costs, their power costs, their gasoline costs. All of the programs that we put into place, we're trying to, those are the things where we want to save our money. We want to save our employees by saving money in other areas. Now, Amy, have you got one last thing, and Amy's going to give you a snapshot of the financial report for 2011.
Now, my understanding these figures are from Friday, December the 16th. The general fund balance at that point was $880,673.94. Now, we do still have a large sum that's going to be paid out to the city of Blackshear. They're $350,000 to meet the rest of our 2003 SLOSS obligation. That should be paid out to them probably first part of next week. The overall budget as of December the 16th, our budgeted revenues was $8,347,731. Our actual revenue as of December the 16th was $8,638,518. Our budgeted expenditures was $8,347,731. Our actual expenditures through November, because of the way that we pay our bills, was $7,838,625. We have 6 CDs, general fund CDs that are out there. At this point, it looks like there's $516,524.23. Other than that, this is just the general information that Crystal left me to present to you since she was going out of town, but just wanted you to have a small picture as to where we're at this point.
Are there any questions by any commissioners? we appreciate y'all's time, but most of all, we appreciate y'all because we're real proud of our staff. They've done a great job. We're looking forward to 2012. We can't wait to get started to see how much better we can do for 2012. It's been a real honor and a privilege for y'all to let us do these items for you, and we're really appreciative. And thank you so much, Commissioner, and Chairman, and the other commissioners. And that's our report.
Okay, Frank has an item to talk to us about.
All right, we have recently got a deed on the South Side Fire Department, and we've already used the facility, but we didn't have the deed to it. It was in a non-profit corporation, and the trustees have deeded it to the county. So what I'd like to have y'all to vote to accept the deed. That's all.
Any discussion? Make the motion. Second. All in favor by signifying aye. And the ayes have it.
Randy. Who made the motion?
Me.
It's on tape.
I have a motion that we go into executive session on personnel and litigation.
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second. All in favor by signifying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Now, your motion, we come back in after executive session.
So moved.
Second. All in favor by signifying aye. Aye. And the ayes have it. No action was taken in the executive session, just a short discussion. If nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.